Okay, so what we're doing is we're prepping the ground. We're going to build our chicken coop right here. This is going to be a permanent structure for the winter time. Keeps us close to where our house is going. Keeps us close to the pen. Then we're going to get them off the road a little bit. There will be a fence line that comes across here, so that'll be done. It's a lot more light, a lot of sun here. Some trees for coverage, because you know them hawks, man, and coyotes, and all the rest of the vultures. What we're going to do is we're going to clean the area. Then we're going to level the area off with some chert. I'm going to dig up some chert, put some chert down, try to get this all packed in good and level, and then we'll start building the chicken coop. Now I'm building the chicken coop a little bit bigger than a normal chicken coop because I not only want to be able to go ahead and put my chickens in there, but I want a shed on the outside of the chicken coop to keep like a bale of straw in there, some pine shavings, and keep their food in there too. Because I don't want to keep running back and forth to the house or to the barn to keep getting feed. This way I know where the feed's at. It's right where the chickens are at. I can walk right in, feed the chickens, and we're done. So at this point, we'll get started. Our generator just stopped. That's what I got to keep the chicken light on, to keep them warm. It should be all right today for them inside there. It's pretty warm in there. I'm trying, well, let's go through it real quick. So I talked to a chicken farmer, and he's an elderly man, and he gave me some tips on raising chickens. He said back in his day, they didn't have heat lamps. They didn't have a way to keep chickens warm. So what they do is for the first 2 to 3 weeks of the chicken's life, they bring them into the house with a wood stove, and they set them up next to the wood stove. Now granted, he told me, he says, we might lose a few, but he says we're losing the weak ones and not the strong ones. And the strong ones are the ones that are surviving. It's called circle of life, basically. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to do the same thing for him as he did, which is not give them that luxury of that heat lamp or that heater that's built inside the chicken coops that most people are doing. I'm letting the chicks slowly acclimate to the temperature as the temperature rises and falls. So right now inside, I got a thermometer in there. It's about 85 degrees inside of our tiny home right now. With their light on, they're probably pushing about 90, so they're warm, and it's very well insulated it because I insulated it. So I'm thinking that, you know, we'll probably be able to keep them in that environment. So I think the best thing to talk to you guys about right now is about the chickens. You know, I don't know a lot about chickens. I'm not an expert. Never said I was an expert, but these older gentlemen, they have the experience from back in the 40s and 30s. They know what they were brought up to, and they know how to bring up the chickens. They know what the chickens need. You know, he told me, he said back in the day, you know, chickens pretty much had to fend for themselves. They didn't have all this GMO food and all these grains and stuff. They gave them whatever they could give them, whatever they could afford to give them, because most people were poor anyway. So I'm going to go by his rule. I'm going to acclimate my chickens. They're healthy, they're happy, they run around, they're chirping all the time. They're doing phenomenal. I'm going to let my chickens go. I'm going to try this guy's way and see if it works, because he is right, man. Back in the day, they didn't have any of this stuff. And we do. It's a luxury for us to have it. So, but anyway, so the chicken coop's going to go right here. We're going to get it all set up. It's going to be really cool. This will all be fenced in. I got some trees to cut down yet. I'll probably get rid of those today, because I don't want to mess with them later. Now I'm going to keep the chickens in my house for about 4 weeks total. A reason being is because I have heavy equipment coming out here, and I don't want to disturb, frighten, or cause the chicks to have a chick attack. What I call a chick attack a heart attack. Because they're going to be working over in this area right here, getting rid of all this stuff. So I kind of want to keep it, you know, safe for them. Now, they have plenty of coverage. I'm putting the thing right next to a cedar tree, which is great because cedars have a lot of bugs on the outside, and the chickens are going to be happy as happy can get. We're going to have it all fenced in. Trust me, it's going to be, they got a pretty big area. I gave them a pretty big area. Now this is, like I said, this is going to be their permanent home. And then we're going to put one on a trailer that I can move around once we get more land cleared. And what I'll do is I'll let this come back. I'll take them from here and put them on the trailer, the mobile one, and I'll let this come back and heal after they're done disturbing the ground and picking all the bugs and doing all that. We'll let the grass come back, and then I'll bring them back here, and they'll know that they have these two homes. This one's strictly going to be basically set up for winter because it's close to the house and I can get to it right away. And I can also see it from the house. So if there's any predators, I'll be able to see the predators. I don't want to put the chicken out of eyesight because that's when the predators move in. So I can stop the predators from doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and let's start. I got a chicken coop to build here in the next couple of days, and I want to get it done. So here we go. Now when I came out here this morning, it was pretty foggy. It still is pretty foggy. You can probably see in the background. But, you know, I've been up since 5 this morning. It's time to get some work done. You're on a farm. So, we'll get this all cleaned up. I'm eventually going to clean it all up. But right where I'm building the chicken coop, I want to get that cleaned up now. So, it's so much easier to do it with pick up leaves with a pitchfork. And we start our little burn pile of leaves over here. And we'll get all these twigs in there and get all that stuff. Probably saying, don't get rid of that. That's all compost. Trust me, I got plenty of compost. I got enough leaves for compost. Whew. That's another thing too I want to build is a compost pile close to the chicken coop, because I want to be able to take the stuff from the chicken coop right over the compost pile and put it in there, so that way we get the benefit of having a backup compost pile. So, all right, another load down. Right now where we're at, there's no burn ordinance yet, so I try to get all my burning done while it's still wet and damp and wintry. So I've been saving up some ash from all the burnings I've been doing. And what I'll end up doing is laying that down here. It's good for the soil. And then today I'd like to get this whole area cleaned out and start getting some grass seed planted. And that's clean for the chicken coop. Ready to go. I gotta cut some trees down. I already see a couple of trees I'm taking down, so. Whew. Okay. Whew. We're supposed to have some rain later on this afternoon, so I'm gonna try to get done what I can get done, which is now getting some chert in here, try to level some of this off. So we'll be back. All right, guys. So I've already started building the chicken coop. I got one of the walls done, which would be the front, and I am working on the back, as you can see here. It's gonna be a palace for chickens. But it's coming along good. I'm hoping to have it framed up today and maybe dried in hopefully tomorrow. We got some rain coming. Now I had some old plywood on the homestead that we were using to try to drive over because we had a lot of mud and we didn't want to sink in. So I used it. We're gonna put a sheathing on the outside of it. So this is just inside, it doesn't really matter. It's a chicken coop, you know, it doesn't have to be phenomenal. But the outside will look fantastic. But like I said, it's some scrap plywood that I have around. I have about, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5, 6 more sheets left after this. I've already cut the peaks out. Now what I did is I'll bring you over and show you how I did this. Now, look, this is a very inexpensive chicken coop, very inexpensive, and a really basic, really simple to build. So what I did is I took my 4x4s and I put those here, and I screwed the plywood to them, left them the full length. Then I put a 2x6 for the floor down below right here. So I have a 2x6 here that runs all the way across. Then at the top I use 2x4s with an angle, so put a center brace all the way across. And I'm going to make this, actually, I'm using 8-foot pieces. So it'll end up, when it's said and done, it'll end up being like 8 foot 3 inches long. So that's a pretty big chicken coop. 8 foot 3 inches long. I mean, that's a big chicken coop. But that's what I'm working on. Like I said, this is some old plywood that I had that, you know, nothing goes to waste on the homestead. Try to use everything, right? And then I'll get that done, and we'll put a metal roof on it. The metal roof's gonna match everywhere on the homestead. The woodshed, the barn, the workshop, the house, all of it's gonna match. It's all gonna be in metal, so I can't wait to get that in. That'll be awesome. I will put plywood and put some tar paper down just to protect it for the time being until I get the metal roof in, but we will have it figured in and it will be done. So at that point, I'm gonna move on to the next step. Next step is putting it together. and then I'll show you guys what it looks like once we get together, and I'll start framing it in. I mean, I got some work to do. Stay tuned. Be right back. So as you can see, the chicken coop is being built. It's not too bad. Look at that monstrosity. Now I'm putting in the supports for the floor. Yes, they're 16 center. And then we got to fair this out. Down here, we'll fair this out. Then there's a cheap method that builders do. Is what they'll do is they'll take a piece of plywood right here, and they'll cut it down 6 inches, and they'll lay it as a furring strip, and then they'll lay another 2x6 on the outside, and you won't even tell it's been furred. How about that one? You learned something today. But so I'm working on, I'm getting there, little by little. It's pretty big. Now you're probably thinking, man, that thing is really high off the ground. Well, we're going to bring dirt in and fill all this in and level it. So the dirt's probably going to be above this block. So it's really not going to be that tall. But hey, you know, you do what you can do. All right, guys, well, I'm going to get back to the build. I'll get you in here again, take another pic so you guys can see what it's done when the floor is finished. Sound good? See you in a few. Hey, guys. Got hit with a bout of rain, so I had to quit, but I'm gonna get started again on it. Here's what I got so far. It's all framed in, it's been leveled, and just gonna get a windows in there and get the other side done with a box, and well, come back and we'll show you some more. Sorry about the time span. Couldn't help the rain. It came in quick. So at that point, I'm gonna get back to work, and hope you guys like what you see so far. All right, be right back. Hey everybody, it's the Swisher Homestead, day 2 of construction of the chicken coop. Whew, it's a lot of work. I'm using a lot of scraps and pieces I have left over. So, because I don't want to put a lot of money into this. It's a chicken coop. It's going to get dirty and stinky, but I want them to be safe at the same time. Exterior will look fantastic. Inside, who cares? Because they basically come in here, they poop, pee, they make a mess. So I figure, why put all that money into building a chicken coop with all new lumber? So I did go out and buy some lumber that I needed. I have some lumber left over too from when we did the tiny home and did some stuff there. But what I wanted to talk to you about is the cost of building a chicken coop. Let me tell you, it's not cheap. I mean, I'm doing mine as cheap as I can do it. It doesn't have to be anything, but it does have to be secure. And it's one thing I did do was make this thing super secure. So I'm gonna take you around. I'm gonna show you what I've done so far. And like I said, most of the stuff that I have is all scrap. So never throw anything away in the homestead. Always keep it, because you never know when you're going to need it. So, well, let's get looking and see what we have done. All right. All right. So as you can see, we got the window put in. I did spend some money and buy windows. I didn't want to use screening, I wanted to use windows. This is all set up. I cut the door for the chickens to come out. Now I face the door towards the house is at, so I can watch the chickens and make sure. Because if you get something that wants to get in there, they're going to try that door, and the house isn't that far from where that door is at. Nothing but taking a sniper rifle and popping whatever it is, trying to get in and get my chickens. But this is old plywood that we used to park the truck and the car on, because it was a mud hole and the truck would keep getting stuck, and so would the car. Well, it didn't get stuck, but it would keep getting so damn muddy and ruts that it just, oh, it was terrible. So I just used this, but we do have paneling that we're going over top of this, so that's here nor there. All right, I did the brooding boxes. Now I went online and I asked you guys to, there's another window up high. We're gonna have a hang off for the roof, so the roof's gonna hang off quite a bit. And then I got the boxes started, which will have 1, 2, 3, 4, and in an open spot that I'm not going to put the brooding box. I'm actually going to close this off and keep some other storage stuff here that we're going to need. The main door will be right there for us to enter. Plenty of room to scoop up. I double plywood this, so this is now, what would I use? I used a 1/2 inch, so it's now 1 inch thick base. So it's pretty good. You know, all this stuff we did, everything's on blocks. Now, granted, this is pretty high off the ground for the chickens, but we are having dirt come in. We're gonna level all this off out here. So it will come up probably about 6 to 8 inches above. I kind of want to put this on like a little bit of a hill almost. So when the chickens come down, they have a place where they can go up underneath and hide. You can take a look underneath and see what I did there. And I've got a small overlip, so when the water comes down, it doesn't shed on this, it sheds off of it. So, and we got the peaks, which that'll be the next thing I start. We'll be getting the roof on. I want to get it framed in there. I mean, this thing is built solid, you know, and it ain't going nowhere. But, you know, the windows, they open and close very easily. They're sliders. So that way we can get some air in there. I am going to have the trusses come down, and I am going to put a mesh across the top so we can get airflow circulated through there. But yeah, day 2 of doing the chicken coop. I got a little friend over there. It's my neighbor's goat, Willie. Any of you can tell me why they named him Willie? There might be something in it for you if you can figure it out. But yeah, that's where I dump some of the chick feed, and Willie's going after it. He's been going after everything around here. I don't know, goats eat a lot, I know that. So at that point, guys, so I'm working on the chicken coop, getting the chicken coop done. Man, I'm telling you, the coronavirus is really taking a big hit on a lot of things, man. Stock market's taking a plunge again today. Oh man, day 2 is finished with this. I gotta go make dinner now. I got a lot of stuff to do. They're saying a possible tonight, of course, at night, possible tornadoes again in West and North Tennessee. Western and Northern Tennessee. I mean, really? Can you cut us a break? Mother Nature, please, just cut us a break. Those poor people over there have lost everything, and they're going to have to worry about this. It's crazy. Well, at that point, guys, when I get started on the roof, when we start doing the outside, you get to see what it looks like. It's going to look really good on the outside. The inside, it's for chickens. They'll poop and pee all over the place, so I'm not too worried about the interior as long as it's strong. And let me tell you, this thing is strong. I mean, it probably take 4 people just to try to even lift it. I mean, I put 2x6s for braces for the floor, 2x4 walls. It's going to have what, 3/4 inch when it's all said and done out exterior walls. I mean, this thing's going to be built good and airtight, because I want to keep my chickens warm during the winter time. And this is going to be a stable coop. It's going to be here all the time. Actually, when the chicks get of age, I'm going to put the chicks in here and let the chicks grow up in here and feed them in here and everything. So, alrighty guys. Well, it's the Swisher Family Farm, and we're doing our first chicken coop. And I hope you guys like what you've seen so far. I hope you've watched some of the other videos and seen how the other videos are. And, you know, from day 1 that we've been here, that so much has changed. Amy's working on making more videos, as we know. So, at that point, I'm out of here. I got to go cook some dinner. I'll see you guys later. God bless you guys. Thanks a lot. Hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. It would help me and Amy out tremendously. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.